There's some problems of water ponding that have been mentioned before, but there was a culvert that was removed. I mentioned this to the Planning Commission. A culvert on the applicant's property had been removed and filled in, and there was a pond that created. And when that culvert got replaced, there hasn't been water ponding problems, and we've had 2 very wet Decembers. The road width, again, that's in contention, is 16 feet wide in 1984, or what was accepted as 16 feet wide. It was accepted as a workable road. And what's changed since that last subdivision is CDF has required 18-foot wide roads now. And so the county changed its road policies to get that same 18-foot wide. But CDF has written a letter, which is in the packet, that says that they don't deal with existing roads. They accept existing roads. The road from the 286 feet and the 373 feet of the next parcel, that road right now is paved with AC and is in very good condition. From there on, the road will change to 18 feet wide with this proposal and will also be AC. And the county only requires gravel roads, so this is, essentially one of our mitigation factors. And this work is that we can do, and we would improve the entrance. We might not be able to meet the letter of the code for the entrance, but we can make improvements. Again, with this is back to intent versus letter of the codes. And, in this situation, we maybe can't make these things perfect, but we can make them, we can substantially improve them. I guess quickly through the neighbors' issues, the owner I really can't go into all of their concerns. They've raised issues. Most of the issues they've raised will be addressed. I'm trying to think of an issue they've raised that won't be addressed by the subdivision, other than we are requesting the narrow road as it exists. That from what we've requested so far can't address that. They did mention percolation tests and water tests. These tests have been done. They haven't been submitted to the county because they are conditions. The county has made these things conditions where we will submit those things later. We tested these things before we started the subdivision. There is adequate soil percolation, and there is ample water, very ample water. They also want a 20-foot wide road, but I think that comes from misreading a county code standard for subdivisions, for major subdivisions or second or third generation subdivisions. The county only is requesting 18 feet wide road standards for this at this point. A couple of the planning commissioners had problems. Commissioner Warner said that her big concern was the future of the property should the city of Fort Bragg annex it. And I don't know what those problems might be, but I'd say that is not a county problem. That's an issue that would be dealt with later. I assume she means that later on the parcels could be divided up into very small parcels if they had sewer and water. But then they would need roads improved right now, right? Because right now we're just talking about a rural road. And Commissioner Calvert suggested, where does it all end if we allow this subdivision to happen? What else will happen in this neighborhood? And the development potential is very limited. This area is almost fully built out. There is an estimate of, with topographical issues, probably 5 additional parcels could be created in total. It looks on paper like about 7 of them could be created, and with a potential for a few second residential units on some of the properties, it still might be around 10 additional residential units that would be created. This project will only create 2 additional residential units because 2 exist already. And I think that maximum build-out is an important factor. This is a short rural road, and it does not have an endless supply of land to be divided and therefore future pressures on the road. So why should you approve this subdivision, and since we're here on an appeal? And that is that small parcels, and my answer to that would be small parcels close to town are needed. They're in high demand. The housing policies, the housing element addresses a diverse need of county residents. It's not just low-income residences that it's needed. It's these small parcels. The realtor's biggest complaint over the past 10 years at least has been that there aren't enough buildable parcels. This land here is flat and level. There's very little of that. Probably the most important item or reason for approving it is this is infill development. This area is surrounded by smaller parcels. It's close to the city of Fort Bragg. It's asphalt paved roads all the way. It's fuel efficient to be this close to the service center. And it doesn't extend, the infill development does not extend the growth patterns out into the natural area. For mitigation, again, this proposal only adds 2 new residences. The roads are asphalt paved rather than gravel. And this is a substantial and expensive improvement, but it makes the condition much better than if this were an existing gravel road. We'd have drainage to right-of-way would be improved. The drainage to the road that the neighbors are complaining about will be improved by this. It won't be improved if the subdivision doesn't happen. There's a 10,000-gallon fire tank that will be available for neighborhood use for firefighting. That tank, there was one concern about what that might look like aesthetically, and there's a lot of stuff that can be done to help that tank get put where CDF would and the Fort Bragg Fire Department would like it and still screen it in some way. This subdivision would provide an additional emergency turnaround. Currently there's one very large turnaround area available to the road. This would add a second one because of the turnaround at the end of the subdivision road itself. It will make some improvements to right-of-way. It can't make that perfect, but it will make improvements to that. If the subdivision doesn't happen, those improvements can't. I should have said the right-of-way entrance. Without the subdivision, those improvements won't be made. There's a potential for a maintenance agreement for the entire length of right-of-way that we would pursue, but with any existing situation, we don't know if that's possible. It's not been made a condition, but we would certainly attempt to make that. The people on right-of-way themselves have, as the Department of Transportation mentioned, they have done a lot of improvements and are discussing improving the road now. The discussion on the table is to pave it to 12 feet wide from the applicant's parcel to the south. There's no paving needed from county road down to the applicant's parcel. So if they do it themselves, they're going to do it 12 feet wide because that's what the recommendations are. If the subdivision happens, it'll be 18 feet wide. And again, this is going to add more small parcels to the coastal inventory. And again, as mitigation, the neighborhood development potential is limited. I'm almost done here. And so what are we asking for? I had to ask myself that to make sure I knew why I was here and what it is we've appealed. We are asking for the revised conditions in the John Speaka memo of 3/25/08. We are asking, initially, our request has been for the existing road, excuse me, asking for the existing road from the county road to the parcel, which is 16 foot wide, nominal. And you probably have this photo in your packet. The photo shows